Tropical storm Gordon moves over southwest Florida, leaving a trail of rain and wind in areas already saturated. Plus, parts of the Suncoast already feeling the effect of hurricane season with heavy flooding. What this could mean if we're hit with a big storm. And marine life aren't the only animals being affected by red tide. How birds are also being injured. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Let's check in with meteorologist Josh Stone for a look at our first alert forecast. And Josh, you have the latest for us on Tropical Storm Gordon.
All right, thanks, Jacqueline. Well, Gordon still packing a punch right now. Actually, it has intensified a little bit from when we last saw you at 7 o'clock earlier this evening. Had sustained winds of 50 miles per hour back then. Now the winds have gone up to about 60 miles per hour, but it may be encountering some wind shear. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now along the coastline, we do have some moderate to even pockets of heavy rainfall, maybe a steady rain around Inglewood right now. But for most of the Suncoast, just like a steady rain, not that big of a deal. There is a breeze though, winds cranking up to around 25 miles per hour, and the National Weather Service has now, well, they've now lifted the tropical storm warning, and that was just a little sliver of it around Inglewood and western Charlotte County. Now we have a small craft advisory with the choppy conditions, and the sea is just offshore. There is a hurricane warning though here for the western panhandle of Florida and southern Mississippi over there, and also southern Alabama, but that is for them, not for us. Tonight expect mostly cloudy skies and a few on and off showers, pockets of heavy rain along the coast. You can see the general track takes Gordon up to the northern Gulf Coast. Here's the latest information: 60 mile per hour sustained winds. It's still moving pretty fast to the north and northwest at 17 miles per hour, and it could potentially become a Category 1 hurricane as we get into later tomorrow night and early Wednesday morning. As far as our overnight forecast goes, we're going to dip down into the mid to upper 70s, a little bit warmer along the coast. Mostly cloudy skies, few showers. I don't think there's going to be any rumbles of thunder. It's not out of the question, but looks like this is mostly just kind of a rain event, at least for the mid overnight hours, and then we'll have mostly cloudy skies. Still will be breezy though as we get into tomorrow morning. And then what does the rest of tomorrow and the rest of the forecast look like? I'll have that answer when I come back. Back to you, Jacqueline.
All right, thank you, Josh. I'll talk to you soon. Parts of the Suncoast feeling some of the effects of Tropical Storm Gordon today. It's a storm that not too many people in the area have been concerned about. ABC7's Rick Adams has more tonight from Manasota Key.
Well, Gordon has certainly been making a little bit of his presence known here in southern Sarasota County, mainly with strong wind gusts, rain that's been on and off, and a surf that's become much more rough. As Gordon skirts by parts of the Suncoast, people who live here or just visiting are treating this just like any other storm.
I'm fine. It doesn't bother me. You expect storms.
The winds picked up during the afternoon on Monday and into the night, causing the usual calm waters of the Gulf to become a little more active. Flooding is sometimes a concern on Manasota Key, but inconsistent rains throughout the day eased those concerns. The incoming storm did cut short the popular Pioneers Day event in Inglewood by an hour and a half.
We have big tents, we have chairs, we have a lot of small children, and the combination of a lot of wind and some tents and poles just doesn't add up to having people be around.
Beach erosion is always a concern, especially for residents who have a home on the beach. For some folks, like Venice resident William Liddy, red tide is his big concern, but he's optimistic this storm will really help.
All the smells and stuff is going to be, pushed off somewhere. So, not that somebody else deserves it, but we need a break around here. It's been here for months and months.
And for the latest on Gordon, make sure you keep it here. Check out our Facebook page or log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Manasota Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Rick, thank you. Who ran down a well-liked Bradenton man and then left the scene? His friends now devastated and asking questions. The Florida Highway Patrol still looking for the driver who hit Paul McComb on State Road 64 just before 6 a.m. yesterday. The 33-year-old was loved by many who came to mourn his death at Old School Bar and Grill in Sarasota, where he was a regular. McComb is described by those who knew him as friendly, loving, and gracious. They're also asking whoever's responsible to do the right thing and step forward.
Come forward and, give everybody a little bit of closure and peace with that.
You couldn't find a bad quality about Paul except that he gave too much.
The Florida Highway Patrol tells us that there are no new developments in this ongoing investigation. A Port Charlotte Massage Envy employee is facing sexual battery charges after a customer says he was violated. Javaris McNeely was arrested last week following a 4-month investigation. According to court documents, the customer went to Massage Envy for a massage, and during that massage he fell asleep. That's when he claims McNeely assaulted him. The victim filed a report with the sheriff's office. Following a DNA test, McNeely was arrested and charged. New developments in the search for a missing 2-year-old boy in Largo, a sketch of the person of interest now being released by police. Jordan Bellevue went missing Sunday morning after the boy's mother says she took a ride from a stranger in a white Toyota Camry who she says he went by the name Antoine. The mother claims he punched her, knocking her out. When she came to, she was in a wooded area and Jordan was missing. An Amber Alert was issued for the child on Sunday morning. Police are also searching area ponds where the mother and son live. A Northport woman is arrested after a mother found out she was dating her 15-year-old son. Northport police say 22-year-old Alexis Bauman was arrested on Thursday. The victim's mother told authorities that she had met Bauman, who she believed to be 18 years old, 4 months ago and consented to them dating until she learned the suspect was actually 22 years old. Police say the victim claims the two had sex 2 weeks ago. Bauman was arrested for lewd or lascivious behavior. A spike of shorebirds on Lido Key dying from red tide. A week ago, we told you about 40 birds that were brought to Save Our Seabirds in just one day. Since then, the total has risen to 79 shorebirds. That's an average of 6 to 7 birds brought in each day. Many of them are ready to be released now after Tropical Storm Gordon passes. However, 31 shorebirds have died at Save Our Seabirds from the effects of red tide.
I'm still letting people know to keep their eyes out. Red tide is getting a little bit better, but just to keep their eyes out for the birds on the beaches.
At Wildlife Inc. in Bradenton Beach, about 20 birds have been brought there that are also sick from red tide. And more sand dollars are washing up on our area beaches due to red tide, along with fish, crabs, and eels. Now, you may want to reconsider before taking home one of those shells because you could be breaking the law. It is illegal to keep any live sand dollars in Florida, and you're limited to just 2 per day in Manatee County. It's important to know the difference between live and dead sand dollars before you take them home.
The live ones are dark gray with spines. The dead ones are white or light in color with no spines.
Sand dollars play an important role in our marine ecosystem. As more sea creatures are plagued with red tide, it's important to think twice before keeping that living shell. The Venice Police Department responded to a manatee in distress from possible red tide. That manatee was found in the area of the Intracoastal Waterway south near the Venice Avenue boat ramp. With the help of a few vacationers, Master Police Officer Paul Joyce of the VPD Marine Unit was able to help keep that manatee calm until the FWC arrived. The FWC got the manatee onto its truck to take to St. Pete for rehab. There's no word on the condition of this manatee, but there have been 5 manatee deaths over the weekend in the Venice-Nokomis area. Some local shops on Siesta Key say that business has not been as busy as usual on a holiday weekend because of the red tide. Siesta Key Oyster Bar says in the month of August, their sales were down 40% compared to last year. They say with improved conditions, they did see more people come out this weekend, but their sales were still down 20% from the year before.
I have many friends that work for or own accommodations on the Key, and many of them are 85% vacant or worse, and a bunch of our business comes from tourists, and we are reminded how much we value them.
Other businesses in Siesta Key Village said they have been closing early due to the lack of customers. Some have been running promotional sales to try and get more people to come in. Well, stay with us. Meteorologist Josh Stone will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, what's Special Counsel Robert Mueller's next move in the Russia investigation? And is Roseanne Barr moving out of the country once the spinoff of her show starts without her? We'll have more on those stories coming up next.
You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face,
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Well, Josh, I know you mentioned a little bit of an upgrade as far as Tropical Storm Gordon goes for us.
Looks like it has actually increased with the wind speed up to 60 miles per hour. But there's a little wind shear taking place, so it's kind of hampering this thing growing. Hopefully it won't grow any bigger than it is right now, but it does look like we still will see more strengthening. Let's check out the latest right now. This is the radar, and at around 8:30 this morning, National Hurricane Center upgraded this ho-hum kind of tropical wave into a tropical storm. Didn't even become a tropical depression, just went right from a tropical wave to a tropical storm and looked pretty healthy, and it is moving into a favorable environment as far as the water temperatures. The water temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico are extremely warm, and there's not a lot of wind shear, but there's still a little bit that this whole eye or center of circulation is not perfectly circular, but we're watching it pretty closely. Sure thing, though, is on the eastern side of this, it is dragging up that moisture around it and spilling it all out, especially for our friends down in Lee County and Collier County. They dealt with some very heavy rain earlier this afternoon, and we're still getting a good clip of rainfall along the coastline here, especially around Inglewood and Venice. You may experience some heavy rain coming your way. Moderate to steady, heavy showers. And then I think by the mid-overnight hours, this thing starts to wrap up and pulls away from the coast. You can see here in Sarasota and Manatee counties, pretty much, other than a light, steady rain, I think we're pretty much on the clear here. Now, as far as our inland counties, everything is quiet. Here's the latest on Tropical Storm Gordon. 60 mile per hour sustained winds. with a westerly movement at 17 miles per hour. Here's the track. Now, it still could intensify into a minimal Category 1 hurricane right before it makes landfall here in the northern Gulf Coast by later tomorrow night. But you can see on the western side of it, it really is not blooming with this mid to upper level moisture because we have a little bit of wind shear. But if that wind shear starts to lessen, which we anticipate that could happen, and then it moves over these very warm waters here, well, you're going to see this big light blue plume of moisture start to expand and have Gordon start to intensify. But as far as the futurecast goes, you can see the heaviest rain will be offshore as we go through tomorrow morning, and then as this whole thing tracks up towards the northern Gulf Coast and away from the Sun Coast. Not a lot of rain associated out of this from really the day, but that's going to change. Watch John Scalzi tomorrow morning with the latest on this, and I'm sure these numbers will be a little bit higher, especially around Inglewood, where you're experiencing some steady, moderate to heavy rainfall. Winds also a big deal as far as along the coastline. Sustained winds in Anna Maria Island at 21 miles per hour. Earlier today, we had a wind gust of 45 miles per hour at the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport. You can see, though, throughout the evening hours and early morning hours of tomorrow, sustained winds about 20 miles per hour with wind gusts maybe around 25, but the winds will start to subside as this thing pulls away. Now, a couple of other areas to note in the tropics. We have a tropical wave that just came off the coast of Africa, and this is Tropical Storm Florence, and it has sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. Now, this model shows Florence moving towards the north and west and staying in the open waters of the northern Atlantic. But I just saw another model, the European model, has an area of high pressure that pushes Florence further to the south, and the track takes it right around here as we get into next week off the Carolina coast and Georgia and also northern northeast Florida. So I have to watch that pretty closely over the next several days, but that's still a long way away. 75 degrees our current temperature right now. Today we hit a high of 86. Rainfall today, not much. That'll change, though, in the overnight hours. 76 for the overnight low tonight. Few showers, breezy conditions. That will linger into tomorrow as well. And over the next few days, we have showers and storms in our forecast, typical summertime pattern. And then by the end of the upcoming weekend into early next week, that's when we'll have mostly sunny skies in the 7-day forecast. Back to you, Jacqueline.
All right. Thank you so much, Josh. President Trump's attacks on special counsel Robert Mueller are growing sharper, and he's issued what sounds like an ominous warning. But those who know Mueller say don't expect him to back down in the face of the president's threats. Brian Todd reports.
People are angry. People are angry.
He's taunted Robert Mueller from the get-go, calling Mueller's investigation illegal, rigged, a witch hunt. Now, President Trump is making a not-so-veiled threat to take action against Mueller.
What's happening is a disgrace. And at some point, I wanted to stay out, but at some point, if it doesn't straighten out properly, I want them to do their job. I will get involved, and I'll get in there if I have to.
How could the president get involved at this stage?
We certainly know that he has, at various times, threatened to fire Jeff Sessions, threatened to fire Mueller, threatened to fire Rod Rosenstein. Any one of those would be a pretty clear attempt to stymie and stonewall this investigation.
Is Robert Mueller intimidated by the prospect of being fired by the president?
I would be very surprised if Bob Mueller were intimidated by anyone. But in terms of just wanting to do the job, do the right thing, I think he's exactly the right person to have in the position where he is.
Please raise your right hand. Those who know Robert Mueller say for the man who led the FBI through 9/11 and the war on terror, who earned medals for bravery as a Marine in Vietnam, none of these threats from Trump are even registering.
This unprecedented historic investigation is probably only the third hardest job that Bob Mueller has ever done.
A job that Mueller has taken on with characteristic meticulousness, perseverance, and public silence.
We know almost nothing about what he has. We've only heard that he has a couple of handful of cooperators. We don't know what evidence he has subpoenaed from banks. We don't know whether he has the president's tax returns. We don't know who's cooperating, who hasn't gone public with his cooperation.
What could Mueller's next big move be in this investigation?
I wanted to give you an opportunity.
Analysts say look toward Trump's shadowy former campaign advisor, who may or may not have had advanced knowledge of WikiLeaks' release of hacked Democratic emails in 2016.
The next thing we know that Bob Mueller is doing is zeroing in more on Roger Stone. You know, he has subpoenas out for more testimony regarding Roger Stone's relationship to the Trump campaign and his actions during the Trump campaign.
Stone denies any wrongdoing. Tonight, while President Trump shows signs of stress over this investigation, experts say Robert Mueller is likely feeling pressures of his own.
Prosecutors among themselves have a cliche, and that is if you're going to aim at the king, you better hit him.
Experts say the move Mueller could make that would really shake Donald Trump would be a potential indictment of a member of his family. The New Yorker magazine is uninviting Steve Bannon from its festival in October. President Trump's former chief strategist was originally invited for an onstage interview at that event, but the announcement caused a massive backlash, including from other big names set to take part in the festival. Some of them said they would not show up if Bannon was there. They include comedians Jim Carrey and Patton Oswalt, as well as filmmaker Judd Apatow. He said he did not want to be a part of an event that normalizes hate. The magazine says it's still open to interviewing Bannon in a more traditional setting, but not on stage. Well, John Kerry is not shutting the door to a second run for the White House. The former Secretary of State was asked during an interview whether he might run for the White House in 2020. Kerry said he was not thinking about it, but he would not give a definitive no. The former Massachusetts senator narrowly lost to President George W. Bush in 2004. He went on to serve as Secretary of State during President Barack Obama's second term. Kerry did say he is planning to hit the campaign trail for other Democrats ahead of the November midterm elections. Well, Roseanne Barr will not be in the country when a spin-off to her canceled new sitcom hits the small screen this fall. Barr announced she would be in Israel studying Judaism when The Conners premieres next month without her. The comedian was fired from the reboot of Roseanne earlier this year after she made a racist comment on Twitter about Valerie Jarrett, a former aide to President Obama. The show was quickly canceled despite its high ratings. ABC then announced that it would bring back a new program with the other cast members, but without Barr. The Conners will premiere on Tuesday, October 16th. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel Tonight, it's bestie Adam Carolla.
I would watch that.
The superb Sam Ewan. Yaya is talking about the movie.
Action!
And we play You Catch It, You Keep It.
3, 2, 1.
Emmy-nominated Kimmel, tonight on ABC.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Our nurse, Jennifer, all we did is pick up the phone if I was having a bad day, and the next thing we know, she was here at the door. I can't believe that I would have received any greater care anywhere. From that moment on, everything changed dramatically, and I don't know what we would have done without that.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information and be involved. Don't ignore the signs, join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Now, sports.
The red-hot Rays at the Rogers Center tonight taking on the Toronto Blue Jays in a game that went final in the past hour. The Rays cruised past the Jays with a 7-1 victory. The Rays have now won 14 of their last 16 games and are 11 games over 500 since finishing the 2013 season at 92-71. And a possible World Series matchup today when the best team in the American League, the Boston Red Sox, traveled to SunTrust Park to face the second best team in the National League, the Atlanta Braves. No score in the top of the fifth until Ian Kinsler doubles to deep right center, scoring Eduardo Nunez. The very next batter, Christian Vasquez, follows suit with a double of his own, scoring Kinsler to put the Sox up 2-0. 2 batters later, Mookie Betts singles to score Vasquez. The Braves did pull within 1 run, but the Sox scored 5 unanswered runs to win that game 8-2 tonight. In another game this afternoon with playoff implications, the top 2 teams in the AL wildcard race facing off as the Athletics play host to the Yankees in the opener of a 3-game set in Oakland. The A's jumped out to an early lead on Yankees pitcher CC Sabathia, going up 3-1 after a throwing error with the bases loaded by Miguel Andujar. Luke Vogt brings the Yankees to tie that game with a 2-run shot in the top of the second, but the A's would respond with a run of their own in the bottom of the second to go up 4-3. The A's would later add 2 more runs for the eventual final of 6-3. And from New York baseball to New York football, the Jets announcing today rookie quarterback Sam Darnold will be the opening day starter. Darnold will be the youngest opening day quarterback in NFL history at 21 years old in 97 days. The Jets travel to Detroit to play the Lions on Monday Night Football. Well, Colin Kaepernick has been named the face of Nike's 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign. The former San Francisco 49ers quarterback shared this photo to Twitter today with a quote, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." In August of 2016, he started the movement to kneel during the U.S. national anthem to protest racial injustice. He opted out of his contract with the Niners last year and has been unsigned ever since. Kaepernick filed a grievance against the NFL, claiming that teams are colluding to deny him a job. Last week, an arbitrator ruled that there was enough evidence to send that collusion case to trial. Well, Florida State head coach Willie Taggart making his coaching debut for the Seminoles tonight in Tallahassee, hosting the Virginia Tech Hokies. It's a game Taggart will soon want to forget, as the Noles got beat by the Hokies 24-3 tonight. Let's look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, I know you guys will be busy over in the Weather Center continuing to watch Tropical Storm Gordon and any rain here on the Suncoast.
That's right, but it will pull away from us, and it looks like we're going to get more in our regular routine of those afternoon showers and storms like we do in the summertime.
Right. All right, thank you so much, Josh, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening.